Welcome into Steelers Talk. I'm your host, Jack Sperry. Today we got a bunch of Steelers news and rumors to cover here on a beautiful Tuesday evening. First up, we got a report today that the Pittsburgh Steelers are reportedly interested in Daniel Jones. I'll let you guys know my thoughts on that report from Andrew Filipponi. Then we'll get into multiple Steelers players being linked with Aaron Rodgers and whether they want Rodgers to be the next starting quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'll also let you guys know my thoughts on that story at the end of today's edition of Steelers Talk. Earlier today, we did put out my top 10 wide receiver draft prospect rankings on the NFL Draft channel here at Chat Sports. I'm going to be putting out a bunch of great draft content on our NFL Draft channel this offseason, so make sure you guys check out that channel and check out that video if you haven't already. I'll include the link to our NFL Draft channel down in the comments and description of today's show. And don't forget to click that subscribe button to this channel as well for Steelers-specific draft content all throughout draft season. So let's get into the content today. And of course, Andrew Filipponi this morning came out with yet another doozy, claiming that the Pittsburgh Steelers have quote-unquote interest in former Giants quarterback Daniel Jones. This is what he posted earlier today. It says, source, there's interest in former Giants quarterback Daniel Jones inside the Steelers organization. Quote, the Steelers could do a lot worse than Jones, with the belief he actually is a good fit for Arthur Smith's offense and Mike Tomlin's preference for a mobile quarterback. Now, listen, man, I think that, the interest that the Pittsburgh Steelers could potentially have in Daniel Jones could be real. I don't think it's as a starter. I think it would be as a backup quarterback. Say they sign Justin Fields to be the starter next year, and then they bring in Daniel Jones, somebody with starting experience, somebody that is mobile, somebody that could run, the same style of offense if Justin Fields, God forbid, goes down with an injury. I just don't want people to freak out about this particular report too much. First of all, take it with a grain of salt because it's pony, but also this is going to be a backup situation if the Steelers bring in Daniel Jones, and it would be probably Justin Fields being the starting quarterback if they bring Danny Dimes in. But, I think that, the person that apparently told Filipponi this report, they could do worse at their backup quarterback position, in my opinion. He's not going to be too expensive. You bring him in as a backup option that has playoff starting experience. He's won a playoff game. Now, he's super conservative. He's got the worst pocket presence I think I've ever seen in my entire life for a starting NFL quarterback. He's got a decent arm. He protects the football. A lot of the things that Mike Tomlin kind of likes in his quarterbacks. So I could certainly see the Steelers bring in Jones as a backup quarterback option to Justin Fields, but certainly not anything more than that. So what say you guys? Let me know down there in the comments section. Would you be okay with Daniel Jones as this team's backup quarterback in 2025? Simply give me a yes or a no down there in the comments section for today's pinned comment. In just a second here, I'm going to tell you about our sponsor today at Public Rec. And while I'm talking about Public Rec today, give me a yes or a no for today's pinned comment. And with that, let's have word from our sponsor today at Public Rec. And let's be real for a minute here, guys. Nobody's got time for stiff, uncomfortable clothes anymore, especially pants. It's February, it's cold outside, and you deserve to be comfortable in whatever you're wearing, no matter what you're doing. That's where Public Rec comes in, guys. These pants are an absolute game changer. Their pants are designed to be as comfy as your favorite sweats, but way more stylish. We're talking super soft fabric, no stiff seams, and enough stretch to keep up with whatever your day throws at you. Public Rec isn't just about pants. They have so many great style options, both in their pants department and then also with shirts and polos and all that great stuff they have on their website, whether you're working all day in the office, running errands, or just grabbing a drink with the guys at the end of the day. I can tell you this right now, once you put these pants on, you're not going to want to get another pair of pants for the rest of your life. So this February, stop settling for the same old stuff. Step up your comfort game with Public Rec today. For a limited time only, our listeners can get 20% off your entire order when you use code CHAT20 at publicrec.com. That's 20% off your entire order when you use promo code CHAT20 at publicrec.com. And let me tell you guys, with the game-changing moment for me when we started working with Public Rec was the sizing options that you can get with their pants. All right, if you're somebody like me that kind of has a weird size profile, going to a department store, can't really find anything that fits your size, well, Public Rec has the customized sizing options so you guys can get the perfect fit for every single pair of pants you get from them. So this February, treat yourself right because comfort is always in season. Upgrade to Public Rec and feel the difference today. For a limited time only, you guys can get 20% off at Public Rec by using code CHAT20 at checkout. Just head on over to publicrec.com. Use that code CHAT20. It's right down there in the bottom of your screen right now, and you're all set. Oh, and when they ask you where you found them, be sure to mention our show, Steelers Talk by Chat Sports. It really does help us out. Find your perfect fit and never compromise on comfort again. Public Rec, where comfort rules. So a recent interview from George Pickens with Overtime came out, and he said that his quote-unquote dream teammate, I'm not joking about this, is Aaron Rodgers, soon-to-be free agent and potential Steelers quarterback target. And that is very interesting. This blew up on Steelers Twitter last night. And, I think that, when you look at the idea of this, George Pickens with his ability to make these crazy catches with Rodgers' legendary ability to throw back shoulders, that could go crazy with the Steelers offense. Now, I'm not necessarily saying Rodgers would be a massive success here in Pittsburgh or anything like that. And I'm not even here to tell you that Rodgers and Pickens' personalities would mesh well. These are two pretty volatile personalities if you know anything about these two guys. So maybe they wouldn't be a great fit together. But it is an interesting idea. And then also, George Pickens not only respects Aaron Rodgers and calls him his dream teammate to throw him the football, he's also been very complimentary of Davante Adams as well. Adams has said on multiple different occasions publicly how big of a fan he is of George Pickens, and Pickens has also said that he studies Davante Adams and respects his game a ton and tries to model his game off of what Davante Adams does specifically as a route runner. So George has a lot of respect for both Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams. And if the Steelers are able to bring both of them here to Pittsburgh, I could certainly see this being a solution to maybe some of the professionalism issues that have come up and have been reported on when it comes to George Pickens. Maybe his work habits become a little bit sharper and a little bit more professional here if he is surrounded by people that he really respects and really get him on the straight and narrow. If you're really hoping and you're holding out hope that George Pickens is going to be able to figure things out and get more mature as the years go on, and he can be the long-term future as this team's number one receiver in the long term, bringing in a guy like Davante Adams to teach him how to be a pro is absolutely something that I would be open to. And, if that means bringing in Aaron Rodgers to be the quarterback, the short-term option to try and, one more dart throw at the veteran kind of quarterback market and see if something sticks there, I'm certainly open to the possibility of it. And I think it would be a lot of fun to watch here in Pittsburgh. And obviously, if it doesn't work out, then you have the situation where, Mike Tomlin would probably get fired. You start over with a new quarterback. Next year's quarterback class in the draft is a lot better. So if the Aaron Rodgers experiment just doesn't really work out here in Pittsburgh, you can start over with a younger quarterback in 2026, likely with a new head coach as well. So I'm at least open to the possibility of giving Rodgers a chance if that's what the Steelers end up going with. And also, it looks like the beef between Deshaun Elliott and Aaron Rodgers may be over, as Proactive, which is kind of a off-season workout facility company here, posted this on their Instagram account today, where Deshaun Elliott and Aaron Rodgers posed with each other there. Now, I don't know if this picture was taken today. They did post this on their Instagram account today, so maybe this is recent, maybe this is old, but it certainly seems like Deshaun and Aaron are on good terms. It certainly doesn't seem like Deshaun hates Aaron Rodgers, and maybe that comment that Deshaun put on IG last week, where send his ass to the retirement home, all that stuff. Maybe that's just like two friends bantering. Deshaun says some crazy stuff on IG. It certainly doesn't seem like these guys are enemies, or that Deshaun would be opposed to Aaron Rodgers being signed to the Pittsburgh Steelers. But now let's shift away from the Rodgers stuff, and let's go over to Russell Wilson here, where ESPN Adam Schefter said today that he spoke with Russell Wilson at the Super Bowl in New Orleans, and Russ says that he thinks a return to the Pittsburgh Steelers is still quote-unquote realistic. This is what Schefter had to say earlier. I saw Russell at the Super Bowl. He still thinks that, despite the report to the contrary, that there's a realistic chance he's going to be back with the Pittsburgh Steelers. That he's talked about the future and what this offense and the personnel would look like with Pittsburgh. He's operating like he's definitely interested in being there. Now, listen, man, I don't doubt that Russell Wilson wants to be back with the Steelers next year. I mean, heck, like you look at his options, the New York Giants, maybe the Las Vegas Raiders. There's just not a whole lot of options out there of teams that are legit playoff contenders and ready to win now. And Russell Wilson has made it abundantly clear, both privately and publicly, that his focus is winning Super Bowls. He wants to go to the place that gives him the best chance to win Super Bowls before he retires. He says he still wants to feel the quote-unquote chill of the trophy 2 more times. And whether you believe that he can do that or not, he certainly believes he can, and he understands that the Steelers are probably his best chance at doing that. But the big question surrounding Russ is whether the Steelers are willing to come to the dance floor with him and once again do this tango, and they're going to have to come to him and say, yeah, we want you back, at least at a certain price. Now, to be fair to Russ here, Mike Tomlin, it has been reported by ESPN, is quote-unquote loyal to Russell Wilson over Justin Fields. That comes from Jeremy Fowler. Who knows if that report is true, but I can certainly see why Tomlin, who kind of really values protecting the football, Russell Wilson does a really good job of that. Russ does a good job throwing the ball down the field. That's certainly something Tomlin cherishes as well, and Tomlin cherishes his veteran experience, particularly in the postseason. He thinks that gives the Steelers an edge in the playoffs, and whether you agree with that or not, I mean, I don't know if even I agree with that at this point in time. Plus, I think that Russ would probably take less to stay with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like, he really wants to try and win. He wants to have that career renaissance at the end of his career, one last successful gasp before he retires in a few seasons, and he believes Pittsburgh is the place to do that. So I think he'd be willing to take less money, a $10, even $15 million kind of contract to return to the Steelers. The only question is, do the Steelers want to do that kind of deal, or would they rather go out and get a different veteran like Aaron Rodgers? Would they rather trade for a guy like Matthew Stafford? Would they rather bring back Justin Fields, kind of the younger, higher upside option? It's going to be very interesting to see what decision the Steelers come to here in the next few weeks, but my best guess here is that they're going to decide to move on, whether that's bringing in Aaron Rodgers, who in my opinion has a lot of the same good qualities that Russ brings to the table, but also builds upon them. I actually think Aaron Rodgers is a better quarterback than Russell Wilson at this point in their respective careers, or whether they go with the more mobile option and younger option in Justin Fields. I just think at the end of the day, I think the Steelers are going to decide to move on, and Russell Wilson will be looking for work elsewhere this offseason. So let me know down there in the comments section, what's your one-word reaction if the Steelers bring back Russell Wilson this offseason? Let me know down there in the comments section what would be your one-word reaction if Russ is back with the black and gold in 2025. My one word, if you bring back Russell Wilson next year, is build, all right? And it better be for like a $10 to $15 million contract. I do not want to pay Russ like $30+ million to return to the Steelers, because Russ is the type of guy where if you put the perfect surroundings around him, a good run game, good weapons, an offense that fits his skill set, and then a good defense, I still think Russ can be a somewhat successful quarterback in the National Football League and even win a playoff game. But you have to put that perfect surrounding around him. And in order to do that, you have to sign players, and a lot of them, and a lot of good players. And, I think that you're going to have to really build around Russell Wilson if that ends up being the decision for the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2025. All right, that'll be it for today's edition of Crazy Steelers Rumors. Thank you so much for making it to the end of today's show. Click that subscribe button, because I'm sure there's going to be more and more developments around the quarterback position here over the next several days and weeks to come before the Steelers eventually make a decision at this position. So make sure you click that subscribe button if you haven't already. Until next time, guys, here we go, Steelers.